we're back. Do you hear that? I feel like
Yeah.
something's still playing. Oh, my, I had something else on. All right, guys, if you are looking for a competition, I programmed it. Claire's emceeing it. It's in Colorado. It's in a month and a half, and you should fucking be there. Don't be a bitch. Come on out. Get a team of 3. We have spots. It's great programming. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Claire is the best MC in the space. So find some people, join. We have RX male, female, scaled female, male, and masters female, male. Teams of 3, total age like 128 or something like that. It's like 43 years old or whatever it is. It's going to be a good time. We're finalizing all the programming and the nuance. There's going to be some really unique program type stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Ooh, do I
Have you
get
seen the
clued
programming?
in advance? No. I know nothing of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I often don't know anything until the public knows anything is the
once the
standard for events.
offsite is finalized, we'll finalize the programming, but it's pretty much done. So anyways, if you guys are anywhere in the Midwest, come on out. Gus, I know you're watching this. RX Mail is almost full. Get your people together. All right. Tonight we are talking about age group programming. We're going to do it tomorrow morning, but I watched Hiller's video and I'm fucking annoyed at a terrible take. I think his take was shit. So
sometimes it may be good,
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I think you can have a good take and I think you can have a bad take. And I also think you can have an extremely biased take because you don't like people. And it's clear that Hiller does not like Bob and Joe, which is fine, which is totally fine. I think he was brash and swift to his decisions and with out doing a lot of research. So Jamie doesn't like the programming. That's all right.
CJ gonna have an opinion.
That's right. What should be CJ's opinion about age group programming?
By the way, Kenneth said, is it going to be more of an NorCal unique or Crash unique? Is he referring to Coda Iron Games? Because I would say it's definitely,
yeah.
I'd compare it more to Crash, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing totally off the wall, right? Like we don't have the bandwidth to do, I don't know, weird stuff, right? Like we don't have 4-wheelers that we're going to push around or anything like that, but we try to be unique in some of the implements, right? Like I think you always have to have your traditional stuff in simplicity, but you can deliver it in different ways. But anyways, let's talk about age group tonight. And I think it's not as bad as a lot of people are saying. I think it has the bones and the structure to be a really good event. And I think based on a lot of the logistics, a lot of the equipment logistics that it seems like they struggle with, and the amount of people that they have to run through,
which
I think it's going to be
divisions,
520 athletes. I mean, it's a lot of people to run through, and then it's also even at face value, it's better than last year. One event is going to have more total work time than almost the entire competition from last year.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I think they're certainly on a good track. I think they're on the right direction. I think some of the things are not that great. I think some of them are good. I certainly don't think it's like the best programming out there, but I do think that it's a step in the right direction. All right, so let's go over it. Did you learn how to pull stuff up yet?
In here, we did that on another show, but I don't have anything prepared to pull up, but I can.
That's all right. I'll pull it up on Competition Corner.
Oh my gosh, that head-to-head we did, that was an absolute embarrassment. We'll have to, anyway. Unrelated to this, but.
All right. So workouts. I'll share.
I'll say, if you want me to, I will.
No, it's all right. It's pretty simple.
It was a disaster. Yeah, Kenneth. It was.
All right. So workout 1, 7K run and a 5K run for 60 plus. Claire, I'll let you give a little fun and then I'll rant. So I'm not the only one speaking the whole time and just yelling at you.
Well, that's all right. I'll add in whenever I want to. I mean, at the end of the day, this is their long event, and it sounds like from last year, which, by the way, I was not so clued in on last year's as a whole. So obviously you were, and anyway, I mean, it's their long event, and Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Running
Yeah.
has become a lot more tested, and here it is.
And so I'm of the opinion that single modalities are totally fine at the highest level. They didn't test a single modality leading into it, and there were no long events. They didn't test any type of um, moving from A to B besides a handstand walk and a very rudimentary, non-important walking lunge. Um, and so I think running is the pinnacle aerobic capacity test in all of fitness, in health and wellness, etc. Running is superior to machines, is superior to like mixed modal and just its ability to test aerobic capacity and pure metabolic conditioning from a like pure sense, like not in a CrossFit sense. And I do think that it has a place. I think a 7K is a unique distance. It's certainly a distance that no one trains. People train a 5K, no one trains longer because no one thinks they need to except individual athletes. And so it's going to really challenge people. And if you listen to, and I think the 5K adjustment for 60 plus is perfect. I considered like, am I not on
Yeah, I don't know.
my
It's
tape?
not great. And I
Well,
wondered
it's
if it
on,
was just because the location that you're in.
well, it's on my headphones. So, yeah, yeah, I can change. I can put my headset on. Anyways, so I considered that because the initial leak said a 5K, a 6K, and a 7K distance, and so um, I was like, okay, so maybe it's 7K for 35 through like 49, 6K through um, uh, 50 to 59 or 50 to 64, and then a 5K for 65 plus. So um, So I think I like 7K, right? Everyone needs to run. Everyone knows they need to run for the games.
Mhm.
They didn't run last year. Um, and so better.
Whoa, world's better. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good call,
Okay.
guys.
Hold on. Uh-oh.
Do
All
we
right.
lose you?
No, it's oh, go away. It's just coming out of my thing. As long as you guys can hear me. Okay. Anyways,
Great.
so the run last year was like 2,400 meters, which was pretty much irrelevant. And because it was relevant, it hindered the entire competition. The long event was like 12 minutes, right? A 7K hard run for really, really, really fit people that are there is gonna be like 27 minutes. That's a long workout for them. That's the longest event in the Masters have had since like 2021. That's important. I think that's really important to do, and I think that's a something that Bob and them listened to, and they made the adjustment. Everyone's like, "Oh, it should have been mixed." The only options for this to keep it monostructural in some capacity is to throw a rower in there. Well, guys, how many rowers did the CrossFit Games need? The CrossFit Games needed 80. Okay, they needed 80 rowers. They all went at the same time. Masters Games don't have that luxury to get 80 rowers, and they certainly don't have that luxury to get however many rowers they might need to not run people in the middle of the dead, like in the middle of the heat in Columbus, Ohio, which it's going to be like in the 80s, but hot enough that people are going to feel uncomfortable with it. So I think logistically, it ends up being the right thing. And here we go. Sorry, there we go. All right, much better. And so I think it's fine.
I like it. I mean, the single modality, like you said, I don't have much to say about it because I like it.
Jamie, you can't do it every 10 minutes because one slow person fucks that up. And you also can't get 60 rowers. Like there's some logistical errors, right? And limitations. And so this was clearly one. Bob on Get With The Programming said, it's a better event. I would rather have done that, but we couldn't do it. So you have to understand, right? it doesn't matter. It's 10K. Unless you put 35s before every time, then there's always the chance that you run into somebody. Someone is going to run way fucking faster, and it's going to ruin the event, and it's not going to be possible, right? There's too many limitations to try to stagger start an event and then basically waterfall equipment, right? You can't have that risk because then you ruin someone's weekend. The 7K run is the right call for the long event, 100%. To not take up the entire day, right? Like you have 500 people going through something that you want to be 30 minutes, right? They don't want it to take the entire day. They have sponsor obligations. They can't keep people off site for the entire competition, right? Like NorCal, Claire, how many hours did it take to run the people through that event? Do you know?
That was actually, I was on the other floor during that time, but my understanding, I think it was like a 14-hour thing.
It took the first event to the last event. The individuals were done with the competition. Like the whole Nate Ackerman shit had already happened and been
and
finished,
you guys were still doing that over
and they were still going.
Mm.
You can't have that, right? It's so logistically, it's a limitation. All right, we're done with that. It's fine. It's a good distance. I like it better than a 5K, and it's going to be a good race, and it's going to do its exact job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next, max clean and jerk. It's a clean and jerk. Go ahead.
The Heavy Legacy. They actually have names for them, and you love names. We got to say the names. So the first one was Long Game, and this one's Heavy Legacy.
He named him. He chat GPT'd them, which I'm not a fan of. I think that's dumb. He should have like outsourced it to someone, to Chase or somebody like that.
Should have given it to Chase. He did it with the games one.
Should have given it to Chase.
All right.
I think lifts are fine. We did a strength bias lift, and it is a heavy games. Okay. I think a single modality lift to complement a single modality aerobic capacity piece is fine. It's total score. I think this whole design sucks dick. It's confusing. It doesn't make any sense. I don't fucking understand. Just make it a 6-minute window and let them do what we always do, because everyone's lifting at the same time anyway, so you can't see the design. Stupid, confusing, but it's still a max lift. They just get 4 attempts in the 6-minute window. Just let them load the bar before and then let them do the thing. Right now, the problem is if there's a camera on the floor, you're not going to see anything, right? And so, yes, you can, you can certainly stagger them, but again, 500 people going through like a you go in heats of 30 is impossible. Logistical limitations say that you have to lift in this window. This design of the window, dumb, confusing, doesn't look good on paper. It's fine, but it does the job. It's going to be a big lift. They already did Isabel, which they already have snatches, which we'll get to at some point. But for the most part, it's a good. The clean and jerk is a good lift. It's better than they did a back squat last year. Front squat, back squat, front squat last year. And so I think the clean and jerk is a good lift. I like a complementing, I like the complementing single to single, and then they're done in the first. And so if you did shitty, but you're really strong, it's going to be balanced, right? If you're really weak and you did great on the run, then it's going to be balanced, and that's your first day. And then all the single modalities are out of the way. Unlike what we've seen in the past with CrossFit, where they do a lot of like aerobic testing and then they lift late, right? Like that whole 2019 debacle where we found out who's fit. Now let's see who's strong after they cut the entire fucking field. So I like that it starts it, and then we can get into the normal stuff after that.
So wait, other than the time windows, like you said, just being hard to follow, and everybody going together, I guess, what would it look like for you if you could adjust simply the structure of the event? Like if it remains 4 total lift and the same lift, but you simply just change the structure on the clock or the way in which they go about it, what would you change?
I think it's just easier. Just give them a window and you hit a max lift. I do like loading the bar beforehand. I think that's really important. I think 6 minutes is plenty of time, but having the bar loaded beforehand really gives you like a lot of time to hit 4 lifts. When you have to load the bar from nothing,
This shit takes time. It takes like 45 seconds, right? I think it's
Yep.
always silly. I've never been a fan of weight changing like last year's snatch, right? So that everyone compared this to like the snatch ladder from last year. The snatch ladder from last year was obviously not intended to be an event where you had to change your own weights. They wanted it to be a ladder, but Rogue sent half of a truck. They said literally sent one less truck, an entire truck less of equipment, and so it had to be changed on the spot. And so that's just what those things go to. You're basically at the mercy of Rogue, and so is the games. The games just happens to have it better, but they are still at the mercy of Rogue. And Rogue has been to the point where like there has been times where they've had to make like later changes because certain equipment didn't show, etc. And so that happens more with Pitt in the games this year, like in the Masters, right? Like they have this idea and it can be there, but if Rogue says no, we're not sending that equipment, then they don't have any other options, right? They have to change it. So last year, that's what happened. I think this year you just give them a window and you let them lift, and then it's just a max score.
So you just give them an open window of 6 minutes, like period.
Right.
Find
Yeah,
your heavy,
exactly.
have at it.
Right. And so Kyle, 2019 clean events, all time favorite. Yeah, it's mm, lots of opinions on this statement in general. The problem is 10 people went through that on men and women's side, and it took 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
They can't use, there's no options. 500 people going through that. There's no way to make that happen. And so again, logistics are a limiter and a challenge point that Legends is working through. And so it's unfortunate, but when you're basically second tier, this is what you have to work with, right? And they are, right? And so that, like, if you remind me, we talk about like marketing and stuff like that, and like the Legends games slash combo Instagram thing. When we're done, I want to talk about that at some point. Just remind me.
Wait, now, because I was thinking how many different divisions we have here, which I think is 11. So I was doing something else in my brain. What am I reminding you of?
To like talk about like the marketing and social media and the fact that Legends doesn't have an age group games page
Got
and
it.
that yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all right. Okay, so 3.
Yeah, and my brain was just doing all the like logistics of all the difference because of course like being on the floor and you're experiencing that all the time is every different division having slight, like this is showing right here, there are slight differences. I mean, that all has to be accounted for in the flow of the day, and it's a lot
Right.
to have it run smoothly.
All right, so workout 3, 18-minute
Oh,
AMRAP. Go ahead.
sorry. So far we have one long and one, if I would say one short, fast, whatever the
Yeah,
lift, right?
weightlifting.
So if we kind of total out our time domains that we hang out in, anyway, we've got a
We
20
have
plus and we've got
yeah,
a,
and a monostructural and a weightlifting, right?
yeah, yeah.
So now we have our first mixed modal, and it's our long mixed modal with an AMRAP. I think I'm not a huge fan of AMRAPs. I think sometimes they can be done well. I don't think this one was done well, and we'll talk about it. Um, this is certainly a hard event, and AMRAPs can sometimes be not too like destructive to the winners. Like that's the problem with an AMRAP, right? Is that the winner will be penalized for more work. But sometimes it's just rowing calories, right? Or it's like burpees, or maybe it's not that much, right? But here it can be a lot.
Mhm.
Someone is going to get through this in like 13 or 12 minutes, and they're going to do like an extra 50 hang power cleans with the kettlebells, and it's going to completely change their fatigue level and volume and contraction volume for the rest of the weekend. And so I
Mhm.
don't like this workout. I like it. I like it all the way to the weighted pistols. Let's just go over it first. We'll say 60 cal row. So it's a go ahead.
It's grinding gears is the name of it.
Right. It's for sure
um,
grinding gears. He knew what he was
yeah.
doing.
And then if you want to go ahead, it's 60 calorie row, 48 for the women. And
Right.
then all reps for the
50
rest stay the same.
dual hang clean, dual hang kettlebell clean, 40 toes to bar, 30. I love this portion of the workout. I think that's great.
You mad about them pistols?
Pistols are stupid. Pistols are stupid for healthy individuals. And the reason why is so when you listen to Get With the Programming, right? Like Bill loves a pistol, right?
Yes.
And Chase and them were like, oh, you don't program around the limits of one person, but you do program around the limits of fucking everybody. And when everybody can't fucking pistol safely because the movement requires so much mobility in the ankle, right?
Yeah.
And it's so dependent on anthropometrics, it's a dumb movement. It doesn't even fit the standard of it doesn't even fit the standard of like um work capacity across broad time. And the reason why is because the movement is so slow, because it's so challenging from a technical standpoint, that it doesn't reward, or it doesn't fulfill like the um like the concept of moving lots of mass over broad space, right? So you take a pattern and you basically just make it harder. It's like going into a um it's like I compare it to like the ring handstand push-up. Like
Mhm.
sure, it's harder, and it's a gymnastics thing and people should be able to do it, but everyone looks like shit doing it. So at some point, probably just get rid of it. And they did. Pistols are the same way. When you have the only people, Noah Olson and Matt Frazier, are the only ones that fucking pistol with their foot flat on the ground at any type of high speed, you know that 90% of people are going to be in their toes. They're going to be wearing Versalifts inside of fucking weightlifters with 6 knee sleeves on their knee. Everyone's going to do it, so we know it's not just one person, it's the majority of the field, and it doesn't reward, it doesn't look good. It's, I hate to say it's risky. I'm like, I hate it's that's like saying rebounding is risky, but it just doesn't have the risk reward is very, very low, especially
Mhm.
for masters people. Also, the fucking last weighted pistol, if you don't count Atalanta wearing a vest, was in 2013 when Rich was
Really?
still fucking competing. 13 years ago or 12 years ago. So it just doesn't make sense, right?
Mhm.
And then the argument is the pistol is weighted is easier. That's fucking stupid. It's not easier. It can balance you better.
Mhm.
Sure, maybe it helps you keep your foot on the ground, but it certainly isn't easier, right? It's
Mhm.
just it's more it can help some people that have shit range of motion, right? And so I certainly wouldn't classify it as easier. Also, people's shoulders are going to be absolutely fucked in this workout. 50 dual hang kettlebell cleans is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot, especially for the younger age groups. For 35 to 44, that's a dude, that's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
So hard.
it's not a modest weight.
um,
Man, for that.
so
I'm
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just well, I don't know. I'm just looking at the comments and there's just a few. I mean, I'm curious what people think in regards to. Yeah, Jamie said she's bruised from practice. I heard a couple of other people say the same thing.
Oh
That
yeah, Jen, my 45-year-old athlete couldn't even lift up her arm after Friday. Like couldn't even lift her arm up. And just because like there was so much bruising on the delt. Now there's the right way to do a kettlebell hang clean. I like kettlebell hang cleans. I think there's a skill component and there's a really, really good way to do them. And there's a really
sure.
shitty way to do them. Right. But it's really easy to learn quickly. It has nothing to do with range of motion and mobility. Right. And there is a reward. There's a big reward for speed and efficiency.
Hmm.
And you can learn them quickly. Right. I think the double thruster is fine. I also hate how they fucking write whatever, but that's not the point, right? Like double, it's just like I don't know, dual. Say dual or double. I don't know. It just what? Why? There's just like some inconsistencies there.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
think they've gone through and made sweeps to it, at least on the social media side. I think they
yeah, they
cleaned
have.
things up in there,
Yeah, they
so it
have
might
for
have
sure.
cleaned things up here.
But this right here, so the problem is so we just assume the basics, right? So someone's going to row this in like 3 minutes. Someone's going to do this in 2 and change. So we're 5 minutes in. We'll call this another 2 minutes. So we're 9. Call this another 2 minutes. So we're 11. And this is another 2. So we're 13. And some people are going to go exceptionally slower, right? Exceptionally slower. But
Yeah.
for those that don't, they are going to get deep into the cleans and the toes to bar, right? Maybe not toes to bar. Someone is going to get through the row. Someone's going to get into the cleans, and a couple people will get into those toes to bar. That's so much more volume than the person that can't fucking pistol. And that's the problem with this AMRAP. I do think AMRAPs can have their place. I think they can be in a specific way. I think this time cap should have been like 13 minutes or 14 minutes as an AMRAP, right? To like, hey, can you finish one round? Who can get back to the rower? Because getting back to the rower, it's not a
Right. It's not costing you the same.
yeah, it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some effort more and you're going to sprint, but the fatigue component is going to be substantially less. If someone doesn't make it through the pistols, but makes it through, but the winner gets through the row and deep into this, they're going to be at an exceptional disadvantage for the rest of the weekend. And that's a huge problem, right? AMRAP should probably be out, or they should be the finale, and then even then it looks weird because then you can't follow the race, right? But it not my favorite, certainly not my favorite event. I don't think pistols should be. As someone asked about the 7-year-olds, I think that's even fucking more bonkers, right? Of a 7-year-old trying to do a pistol, I think it's insane. It's so crazy. They want you to do a pistol, but they didn't let you do an overhead squat, and we'll get to that. That's like some of the things. And so this is the challenge with masters is there's a regression, right? Program for the best, scale for the rest. And so it's hard. It's not easy. You have to make decisions. You have to make cuts. You have to make like, like you have to basically like ride the line of like what's a little too much, what's not enough. And everyone's going to be upset, and that's totally okay. But it's our job to fucking criticize it. And this workout sucks. Across the board.
I think Jamie would agree with you. And I mean, yeah, the AMRAP detail of this definitely makes, yeah, you're right. You're not rewarding the fit people, to say the fittest people. As far as taking away their overhead squat, I'm sure you heard it on Get With The Programming. His reasoning as to why was overall shoulder fatigue throughout the course of the weekend. But anyway.
And it was to like not show people getting no reps on TV. That's what he fucking said, right? Like, then why give pistols? Like this could have been so this could have been, in my opinion, this could have finished an AMRAP of handstand walks. Make it 12 minutes and then AMRAP handstand walks. Right? AMRAP handstand walks to finish the workout. And now it's probably too much overhead. And I'm not like, this is like just with this very specific thing, you could have AMRAPed handstand walks and really tested some shoulder fatigue. Sure. I do think it's over. I think then it would have been maybe a little more biased. I don't know what else we could have put here to make it better.
Well, and even with that same time, I mean, if you keep this at 18 minutes, you're still, even if you finish it in that way, now you're still punishing that,
that would
the
be,
most fit,
it
right?
Have to be.
But if you were to change the time domain, or to change the reps leading up to it, or something to make it.
Yeah. I mean, that would have to be the change. And so I don't know, not my favorite. It does sound like Bob tests this primarily with him. He can't do pistols. And so one of the things on Get With The Programming, it like he talks about on the last workout too, the finale of like trying to move against his own bias sometimes. And like just to move against his bias. And I don't think that's a great way to look at something either, is like, hey, I want to move against my bias just to do it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then I think you can create some other imbalance or like be blinded to like, oh yes, because like Bob says, I'm terrible at pistols, so I want to program pistols because people say I'm biased against doing the things you're terrible at. Well, that's irrelevant. That shouldn't be taken into account whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then let me ask you this: as a programmer, then what were you, if you are not going to program for or against your biases, what would be the better shift instead of taking those things into consideration from him? I feel like I know your answer to some degree, but like, what would your encouragement there then be?
Well,
instead of doing that,
he certainly has more experience programming. I don't know if that makes him better or not or whatever. I am going to have him on, so I don't want to like ridicule it too much. I think it's a lot better. It's a big improvement, but I just don't think taking you into account for anything is important. Like you have to be able to remove yourself. Like Dave does this, and I think it's like when he was fitter, it made a little bit of a difference. Or like, the Rafa thing is clear. Like when, like you have to just look at it from like, so when I like when I was writing Iron Games, right?
Mhm.
Like I created a theme initially in my
Mhm.
head and I wrote around that theme, and then as far as like what it looks like, it's always programmed for the best. So I'm like, okay, what are the best going to do and what can they accomplish in the time domains that I'm looking for in certain things? And then where's the creativity to like implement some other different yeah, and so like yeah, like Gus said, competition, they shouldn't consider their strengths and fitness.
Right.
Now, in some capacity, right? Like if I'm writing something and I know there's a lot of like double unders and burpees and like long machine work, I can consider myself like, okay, what could I do this in? Because I know those are my big strengths, but I never look at my weaknesses, right? Or whatever it is. But if I'm trying to like quickly get a grasp or get a gauge on where I'm at time wise or stimulus wise, I will think of myself, but I'll never write something solely based on that. I'm not that fit. Bob wasn't that fit. He was a games athlete like fucking 10 years ago. And and so it's just not a good way to do it. But I will take my like 4 or 5 fittest athletes, right? Like I will like look at Jen and Rose for masters variants of what I'm writing, right? And like, okay, here's the top of the masters, right, for these things. And then I'll think of Gucci, or I'll even think of someone like Gus. I know a lot about Gus's fitness, right? And I'm like, okay, what could Gus do this in based on the things that I know, right?
Mhm.
Or Kevin, right? And so, Kevin helped me write Iron Games. And so we leverage Kevin and Riley a lot. And so and I'll leverage Ben on like certain gymnastic volume pieces. And so you take the people that you know and you use them um to potentially create your rigor, right? Like your um parameters. So
Yeah.
um
Well, and I also know that you're filtering it through the lens, I mean, of simply what are the time domains that you're hanging out in, and how much of that weightlifting, monostructural, et cetera, are you
right,
making sure that is involved, considering how many events you have, or how many,
right.
yeah, I guess you call them events, that you workouts, whatever, that you have to work with.
Tests. They're tests.
Yeah,
Okay. Just
tests,
kidding. They're not tests. I don't know. All right.
whatever
Okay.
you want to call them.
Okay. Well,
25.4, aka carry or core to carry.
it must not be on here.
Yeah, the names of them.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Um,
I got them.
perfect. All right. You want to read it off?
Oh, I don't care.
Perfect.
I can at least read off the name. I'm happy to read off the whole thing if you want.
Sure. I take a sip.
Oh,
Mine.
okay. And I hand wrote this real fast. So let's see. 35 GHD sit-ups, 16 burpees over the bag, 150 foot carry, 25 GHD sit-ups, 16 burpees over the bag, 90 foot carry, 15 GHD sit-ups, and then 16 burpees over the bag.
Yep. So the numbers were pretty random, obviously, right? But it is descending, GHGs and bag, but same rep burpees. Um, 75 burpees or 75 GHG sit-ups, decent chunk,
Mm-hmm.
short time cap, 9 minutes. 48 burpees over the bag, and 270-foot carry for a super heavy bag for a 35 to 44. And so the bag is interesting, okay, because the bag only comes in 4 sizes, right? Theoretically, like it really only comes in 4 sizes. It comes in 200, 150,
Commonly.
170.
70,
Okay.
sure.
Right. Like you have like the 90, 60, but like you're not going to find a 125 or a 165. And so I think this is also one of those, like there's probably some logistical limitations, etc. Um, and so this workout for 35 to 44 is way different than 45 to 49 or 45
Mm-hmm.
to 49. And so that's unfortunate, right? I think the guys, a 200-pound Husafel bag is fucking heavy, and a 150-pound Husafel bag is heavy. And there's a lot of very small masters females.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gus, so you can make 120. I don't think, yeah, for the younger age groups, this is heavy bias for sure. I think I think Bob did a good job of like regressing, um, the weights for everybody. But again, you can only regress in certain, you're limited. It can't be like exactly 80%. You're limited to the average kettlebell size. You're limited to the average bag size. This is a really, really, this is a great question. I think the Husafel bag is actually easier because there's adjustments for like hand height, right? And it is a relatively short distance. 150 feet is not long. Okay. Now it's heavy, obviously, relative to you, but I think from a smaller female like stature and the anthropometrics of their arms, I think the Husafel can benefit the smaller athlete because they're actually going to be able to get their arms around it a little bit and hug. The one like a very tight 150 bag is hard for even men to get their hands around, right? Like because like you're out here like this, right? And that's a hard carry. I think the Husafel is a little bit easier, I would think. Now at 200 pounds, I don't know. I know like the 200-pound sandbag is tough for me to just get off the ground, right? I would assume the Husafel is the same way, but you can lean it on you, right? And to walk, right? I don't have a ton of experience with it though.
They're not using Husafel bags though, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are. Well,
Yeah, they
then
are.
jumping over them is also kind of
Right. And so,
interesting.
yeah. And so jumping over them, short side to long side,
Right.
uh, is for sure like there is going to be something weird about it. Right. So it says bag facing. It should have been lateral as long as what he said was as long as your feet go over. I do think that the fact that
So
it's
wait,
a
which one
Husafel,
is it?
well, it's facing for sure. It's what it says in the
Okay.
standard.
Okay.
Now, it sounds like they are very, very open to making changes. Like he even said
Yeah.
yesterday. Right. So like even like in the get with the programming, like they're like, oh, jump over the small side, right? Now, small side, long side, or big side, whatever, it doesn't matter. It is much better than a regular sandbag, which no one will jump over. They'll jump around, but you won't jump around the Husafel bag. So sure, you jump on the small side, jump on the long side, it doesn't matter, but at least you know they're going to go over the bag, and I like this, right? And so, right, yeah, this, right. Well, we're going to get to that cross fat. And so I like the bag better for the burpees. I don't like how it's varied from side to side. I think every athlete will exploit that, and so we'll standardize it, and it's not a big deal. Okay. I think they could have done a different bag or a different burpee variation. I assume that I assume it's probably on the turf portion. Could have been a line facing burpee. It would have been just as fast, and it would have been maybe a little bit easier.
Clear
But
standard.
yeah, like just an easier standard. But if everyone's going to make the same adjustments for jump over the small side, whatever, it doesn't matter. I like the GHD volume. I like that it's fast. It's certainly a different workout for the 35 to 44 versus everyone else, right?
Yeah.
100-pound bag and a 70-pound bag are worldly different for the females. Jamie asked, do you think he had
Any women test?
females test? I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. It sounds like Bob does a lot of this solo, and I think that's probably a flaw in nature. Now, with that said, I'm okay with it being heavy biased at this point. So far,
he
I
mentioned
think
gaining perspective from a handful of gentlemen, but he didn't mention other people testing.
right.
That I heard anyway.
Something that Hiller said that didn't happen, which clearly, again, Hiller was really biased and never looked into a word that he said of his fucking YouTube video. He consulted Boz for every single piece of the programming.
Yeah.
And so I think they probably need to do a better job with testing. But I think this workout's fine. It's like a B, because the burpee is going to get shiesty. I think the carry is okay. I think it being heavy is totally okay too at this point, like in a vacuum, right? Like not going into the rest of the programming too. So this is mixed. We have gymnastics with a GHG sit up. I don't know, probably monostructural I don't know, it depends on how you look at the burpee. Probably gymnastics, weightlifting, short, medium. It'll be pretty quick, 7 minutes. Some people will be done in like 6 if they can carry the bag. So
Wow. Yeah, that is fast. Jamie, I'll make a note of that. She wants us to ask him about if any females tested.
Oh, okay. I'll ask him.
Events. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. They're going to come on hopefully Wednesday, if not tomorrow night. All right, perfect. Okay.
Hi, large Marge, by the way.
25.5. Okay.
What's up, girl?
So okay, so 11-minute time cap. You have 4 rounds of 2 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest, handstand push-ups, and bike calories. The handstand
This is
push-up
called down to the wire.
down to the wire, which
Uh-huh.
is there, right? This is pretty appropriately named.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I just don't publicly yell about it, but I don't agree with a lot of what Hiller says. Anyways, all right, so we have a buy-in of handstand push-ups ranging in so anywhere from 18 to 15 or 15 to 12. It's going to go down by 1 rep, and then you're going to do the same number of calories or same number on the Echo bike, and then you're going to AMRAP double unders with remaining time. Okay, yeah, ChatGPT named all of it. I don't think it's an Echo bike workout, because if you're not great at double unders, then you're not great at double unders. I do think the handstand push-up is pretty irrelevant. The volume isn't enough. But cycle rate's really important, right? So I do think it has some leverage. I think if you're really bad at the bike, it makes a difference.
Oh yeah.
But it is a double under. It is a double under workout, right? Most people who are going to hammer the bike are like, I think you're still going to have to pace. You can't go all out. So I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I think we're only talking a few seconds, but it's a little bit, I don't know if heavy bias is it, power bias for sure. And people who are good at the bike, but they have to be able to regulate. 2 minutes is not a lot of rest, or 1 minute is not a lot of rest. I do think the handstand push-ups are irrelevant, but I do like the design of the workout overall in a vacuum. Again, I like the workout as it's written. I also think that the number adjusted, again, since the handstand push-ups are kind of irrelevant, it's fine. It doesn't really make a big difference. Maybe it could have been more. He had a very specific time domain in his mind, and the numbers match that time domain almost perfectly, right? So in that aspect, it fits, which is he wants people off at a minute, to have a minute or minute 10, to have 50 seconds to a minute on on
the double under.
On the double under. And so it does that for male and female of all the age groups, pretty much.
With that, did you hear him note that they had to advance the rope every 50?
Every 50. Yep. Which, I mean, it's good for the race from a visual perspective. I think that's really important.
Yeah. And this is also the first time that we're seeing a machine. So we're at 25.5 out of 0.8. So we're 5 of 8 workouts in, and this is the first machine we've seen, which, I mean, like biasing towards power. If you think about it, the games this year, what was it? Half of them had machines anyway.
Right. And so.
She's right. There's a rower. Thanks, Jamie. JK. This is the second machine.
Oh yeah, we rode. Which was again moderately irrelevant. I don't know if that workout, I mean, I guess that workout is, if you can pistol, then it's a heavier workout. It's a heavier workout for the younger age groups. I do think one of the things we're seeing here is for Jamie and the 40 versus 45 and Jen, one of my athletes, is extremely strong, but a lot of the weights are lighter, right? And so she's going to be challenged aerobically. Carolyn, power on the bike is huge. I think power on the bike is huge everywhere in double under efficiency, in the older age groups. I do think this was probably a miss for the 35s from maybe like a I don't know. I think it's okay for the bike to be important because I think the fact that you have to regulate the bike some is going to balance it out. I don't think the biggest person wins, right? I do think someone who transitions well, cycle rate on the handstand push-up does matter. It's still however many reps, right? We're looking at 35, 51 if to get through 3 rounds for the males. Not a ton by any means, but you still have to cycle rate. Like they still have to be quick, right? Your cycle rate on the handstand push-up has to be fast, right? And you can gain a few seconds there, right? You're going to have to sprint the bike, right? You can't go in there and pace the bike like you would for like a 1 minute interval. Like you need to come out and you need to hit the bike for like 3 to 7 or 5 to 7 calories really hard and then pull it back a little bit. It's going to give you a lot of time there, but I think everyone is in their capacity to do something like that. But it certainly does lean into the bike a little more than maybe anticipated. But I think in a vacuum, I think the workout looks good. I like the flow of it. I like moving. I like a cap on the 300. They talked about some sort of gaming to where you would.
I think CrossFit commented on that.
Yeah, I don't think it makes that much of a difference though. Like because so say you sense it and you got 120 or 130 double unders in round 1, full rest round 2, sent it again, you got 150. You're still not beating people that got 100 each time. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think you're beating those people. I don't know. I guess maybe it would be close. I'm not seeing that it games it that much, but he's going to change it anyways. So,
placing minimums.
Yes, placing the minimum. No, CrossFit. It's advancing. It's not complicated for complication's sake. It's to show the race because you'll have no idea, right? Like you have to show the race somehow, and this shows the race, right? Like from a spectator perspective, from a competition perspective with your athletes, right? Like against people that you know.
For my role, being able to call it,
right?
I mean,
the MC, the
quite
video,
helpful.
chase. Like if you don't have people advancing on the floor on large chunks of work of movements, then we never know who's in the lead, right? And then all of a sudden someone's done, and maybe you could have pushed a little harder because you were really close, right? Yeah.
And I said for my role, not at this specific competition. I feel like I should know that at many of them. Anyway.
I feel like having to break I mean, I agree. It might take away a little bit of the advantage, but maybe not though, because you can get started really quick. You know what I mean? Right? Like someone has to stop. Maybe they're not quite as good. You can get started right away. It's still balanced. Like I don't think it really changes that much. Right. And so this also, right, if you have to finish with 3 and you have to jump 3, stop, move, continue, well, then that's just part of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
thankfully, it's everyone. Everyone has to play by the same standard there, No one's going to get into that next box without having to advance to it.
Yeah. Yes, Gus. I mean, think of something like Chief, right? Like Chief, you pick up where you left off, and like where you stop makes a difference. If you have to stop on the push-up, right? Like it's like now you got to get on the ground, you got to get back up. But if you can stop, you can finish the push-up and start up, like you're going to save not just a few seconds for the push-up, but getting up off the ground, you take a transition away. There's some more strategy that comes into that, and I think that's okay. So, yep. I don't think so. I think they have to move to a different box. Gus, I assume they'll go over that. All right. Could be better. Another B. Not my fave.
Okay.
In a vacuum, I like it a lot more than so far with the programming, but yeah. All right. Favorite workout of the weekend.
That's your favorite?
100%. This is a great fucking workout, right? And so before anyone loses their mind, I don't think this is a heavy bias workout. I think the deadlift is light enough that it's only 3. The sled is going to be super light. He said it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
he said it is going to be on turf and they don't know the weight yet, but they want to program it in such a way that you can really race.
Right. And so I think this doesn't benefit the big strong athlete. And the main reason why is because they're going to blow up. Oh, he did say you could jump into the next area. Oh,
Yeah, they
well,
said something about like just jumping forward. I don't know.
no, Jamie. Bob said he wanted 3 to 4 rounds, right? And so at a 3-minute AMRAP, it has to be light for 3 to 4 rounds, right? It's I don't think so. I don't think this is. Carolyn says this is the worst program workout of the weekend. That's because you think the deadlift is irrelevant, right? I think the deadlift is just relevant enough that it gets you off and it makes you have to take a breath. Your heart rate's going to be through the roof. The sled is light, posterior chain explosion. It's fun. It's fast. It's basically like, burpees for 3 minutes as an AMRAP, right? Or just sled pushes. I think there's some transition involved. It gets a little bit of the odd object in there. I think you just don't like it because it doesn't favor your strengths as much. But what are we testing? I don't think we're testing posterior strength. I think this is power endurance, right? Like this is where our power endurance is. It doesn't mean you have to be the best on the bike the best at the sled or the best at the deadlift. I think it slows people down just enough, right? So, I think it's the sled will have your heart rate through the roof enough, right? It is a sled push workout, but you have to take it off, and so you're just not running back and forth. You guys are the ones that said you don't like monostructural patterns, right? And monostructural competitions and workouts, right? So this breaks that up. It's not monostructural, right? And so it fits the void. It just doesn't fit the void as you guys see it fit because you don't like it because it's not enough deadlifting. So, but yeah, CrossFit, more power. I think if the sled is light enough, then the power athlete is going to struggle because they're not going to clear lactate as well as someone who's maybe really good at burpees or box jumps or something like that. If it's even a little heavy, then it's going to kill it and the bigger athlete's going to win again. But if it's light enough, the smaller grindy athlete is going to do really well.
Oh, CrossFit makes another great point. Let's see.
We can do
Are we
this.
both clicking at the same time?
100%. Yep.
All right, I'm going to click it. I prefer a yoke over a sled to avoid the inevitable issues with sleds.
Yeah.
Let's hope not.
I mean, there's turf. So it's a turf competition floor. So you would assume that it would be as close to standard as possible, but without a doubt, all sleds. I think that there's going to be some sort of sled gate for sure, right? But I do like the workout. It's painful. I think it's fast. I think workouts like this are really fun. It's not a lift. It's not a ladder, right? It's sort of that same feel, but I think it balances the field, and it's not just who is strong, right? The deadlift is light enough. Yeah, this is a good training piece versus test. I mean, I feel like if you were going to do this as a training piece, it would be like 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off times like a few rounds, right? For like recoverability. I think this is going to test like grit more than anything. This 3 minutes is going to be at a bazillion times effort. But see, there we go. Just like that. Almost like we know what we're talking about. I don't know. I think it'll be a fun race to watch, right? So I think this is very similar to like running Isabel. Right. And so it was light. I certainly don't think the strongest people won. Right. Like you would think that Jeff would have won it. Granted, Jeff was whatever. Tia doesn't count. I think this is sort of like that. It's a short, it's fast. It's going to be a fun race to watch. It's not just a sled push. It's just like not just Isabel again. With less skill. And I think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that's totally fine. right? But that's what I compare it to, and that was hands down the most exciting event of the CrossFit Games by far, and it wasn't even close. Like it wasn't even close.
Jamie says there definitely needs to be lines on the floor for tie breaks.
Yeah, for sure. Right. I mean, I think logistics like that and scoring and things are things that we can talk about, but we can't like evaluate the programming based on that because that's like a after the fact sort of thing. I mean, Neil Maddox, that's right. Just pick it up. Just pick that shit up. All right.
And this is the second of 2 events of the weekend that the work time during the event is less than 3 minutes, although the other is the lifting. So they're completely different, but these are your your 2 short ones.
Yep. Okay.
Short.
So this was the cornerstone event for the weekend, based on what Bob said. He wrote the whole weekend around this.
Taking flight.
And workout is 5 rounds, 6 muscle ups, 9 overhead squats, 12 box jump overs, 4 the 60 and 69s, chest to bar for 3, then ring muscle ups, some overhead squats. This is to Lido and Jamie. Is this heavy for you guys? The overhead squat, 115 for 9. Is it 9? Right? Jamie, why do you think there's a lot of misses here?
I'm curious about that as well.
So
yeah, she's saying yes, heavy overhead.
Heavy. Yeah. I think it's probably too heavy for 35. Is 105 too heavy for 40 to 44? Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah. We'll get there, Carolyn, without a doubt. So a couple things when you see a workout like this, right? Like you see a lot of muscle ups, and then you look at the programming and you're like, oh shit, they didn't change it for 45 and for 50 and for 55. Why didn't they do that? Right. All right, heavy-ish. And Lito's not a super strong, no offense, but not a super strong athlete. I don't know.
Jamie says as the third event on the third day, it's too heavy.
I mean, what else do we have?
Then Larry says that this is the one that Bill said was way light.
Was lightish. So, I mean, from a shoulder perspective, we've got the handstand push-ups, what everyone said is irrelevant, in double unders, which people don't feel like are going to be that challenging. And then we have deadlifts and a sled, right? 3 minutes long. We have a total work time of like 9 minutes to this point, right? And so, right. And so Carolyn says 115 is fine for her. And we finally have ring muscle ups as a separator, and lots will get time capped. But is that okay? I think that's fine, right? I think that's okay. I think the whole point was to, I don't think. No, well, God, so many things to talk about. So 5 sets of 6 is different for men and women. Agreed. Women are going to be slower. I also think that's okay. I don't think the time cap is that big of a deal because the same people are going to win if it was a 9-minute time cap versus if it was a 14-minute time cap. And so if, maybe if you're attacking, right. And so, but so the time cap, you're not going to make it, right? And if the women are going to do less anyways, that most aren't going to make it to the 5th round. Right. I think everyone makes it to the 5th round in the lower age groups, by the way. I just don't know if they finish. And then I don't know if the time cap's that big of a deal. I also think it's okay. Like Dave has said this as like one of his cornerstones. There's 3 types of workouts. Yeah. There's the workout everyone finishes. There's the workout 50% finish, and then there's the workout that very few are going to finish. And so you're very particular about that last one, about the workout that very few are going to finish. I disagree. I think the problem with the time cap is it steps into the ring muscle ups and won't allow gyms. I definitely think that there's enough muscle ups early that that's not going to be the case. I don't think the overhead squats are that heavy, right? I don't think they're that heavy. It's only 9, right? It's going to be hard, but it's going to reward you guys almost immediately. If you're good at ring muscle ups, and the person who's not that good but sort of strong at ring muscle ups, they're going to feel like shit in round 2, right? They're going to feel like shit immediately if it's a challenge for them,
Yep.
right? And the person who's good at muscle ups, I think, is still going to be able to chip their way through better and more effectively than someone who is just stronger on the barbell. Right.
Well,
So,
and also if this is the one that few finish and that was the anticipated goal here, this is right before that cut anyway. Anyway.
how much of a distance can you make in 3 or 4 rounds? If you're doing 2 sets of muscle ups versus 3, a lot. I don't think anyone. I don't think that many people are breaking the overhead squats. You know, again, I don't have any 35s. So, Jamie, are you breaking these overhead squats?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's ask the girls. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Grant, we're past that. Yes, and it's the stupidest thing that came out of Bob's mouth tonight. So again, I like the workout. So what's the harm of expanding the time cap? Well, they did already. So they already expanded it, right? The events are running late as shit already, right? So there's a lot of logistics that are already happening, and I'm assuming this tight time cap was in lieu of that. It probably is short if the goal is to get everyone to finish, but I don't think that's the goal. I think the goal is to test muscle up volume under shoulder fatigue, right? So unbroken muscle ups in the first 3 rounds, 2 sets on the 4th, unbroken overhead squats got tapped with 3 ring muscle ups. Lito, that's going to be an amazing score, and you're really good at muscle ups. And so that's going to be a top, that's not maybe not a top score, but it's going to be a better score, a higher score. And it's because you're good at muscle ups. And as a smaller athlete, that should just be the testament that the workout is going to do what it needs to do. Right. You know, and so I don't think you just have to give more time for muscle ups, CrossFit. I think the people that are good at them, I think if you gave this 9 minutes or 14 minutes, the leaderboard doesn't change. And so if that's the case, then it doesn't need to be longer. So when that's the case, it's okay for it to be shorter, right? It's a time domain that we want. Everyone's going to work 9 minutes, right? What's happening here? Why is this not up? Oh, I changed it. Here we go. I was like, why is it not on the screen?
It's been a little while. We've got multiple women in the lower age divisions that are saying that the overhead squat's just taking longer than they would like, or they're slower. Yeah.
Lito, it won't be long straps because it might be on a 15-foot. I think it'll be on a 12-foot. Be honest, I don't think it'll be on the 15-foot rig. So I don't think it'll be long straps. I don't know like how you define long straps. Is 15 feet on the long strap or is 12 feet on the short strap? Shut up, CrossFit. All right. So even looking at the older age groups, right? So they didn't adjust. And initially I was like, that's gay. And I was not happy with it. But after going through and really looking at it, right? 55 didn't even do the standard last year. So I think it's fine, right? Because the goal is just to test muscle up capacity. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. That's the whole goal of it, is to test muscle up capacity. So I don't think the time domain at 9 minutes or 10 minutes now, right? I don't think it matters. I think the same people are going to win. If you're good at muscle ups, you're going to do better, even if you're moving slow on the overhead squats, right? Now, overhead squats and for the older age groups, or for front squats for 60 to 64, It's fine. Like I think front squats are the adjusted. I think that weight's probably like a little too light. Now it's like literally just the gymnastics component, but I don't think the weight is heavy enough. I do think that all of the gymnastic gurus are going to get their nut here, and it's going to be able to push them forward.
So do you think that the keeping, instead of going to front squat for the 60 plus, but keeping it overhead squat makes more sense and just reducing load?
No, it's hard. I coach a 70 who could like win 70 next year. 92 inches is just under 8 feet. It's a weird. It's like 7 feet 8 inches, but I don't know what that means. So this goes into the cut. His reasoning for having this to be the cut workout, that's like 230 centimeters or something like that. Just I don't know. I actually don't know what that means in rings, by the way. I have no idea. Carolyn says the cut is after this one. And so Bob said, and was probably one of the most valid things that he said all night was, this is the cornerstone event. And so I want everyone to do this event before we cut instead of making this like the finale. And I was like, okay, I get that. I think that's a really cool thing to do. And I think that's the right play. And so I do like everyone that gets it. I don't like how it's one event on Sunday. I think it should be
None.
two. No, well, I mean, it could be none. It's not a long event. It's a really easy event. It's a short day. It's kind of cool. You get a short day and then you get to socialize and do the thing. Like I get that, but one event on a day makes people stay longer, especially if they're like challenged with travel and that kind of stuff. Or if you have an early event and you have to wait till fucking 5 p.m. to do your like awards and shit. I don't know. That's to jump up, Lido. So you'll have to jump to whatever. So that doesn't define how long it's hanging down though. That's just how high the ring is off the ground. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with cuts, right? I'm okay with I'm fine with cuts. I don't think it matters. I'm totally fine with the cut. I wish the cut would allude to something like more, right? Not just a workout, right? That everyone could do.
Why are you okay with cuts here? If I remember correctly, for the games, just a couple weeks ago, you didn't like the idea of cuts.
I don't. So at this point of the weekend, when you cut for one workout, I don't think it makes a difference. CrossFit has always cut for like 3 or 4 workouts, and that's where it makes a difference. There's not a lot of change on the leaderboard, right? And so I think for here, it's different, and they're also just cutting in half, so it's either going to be 15. And so, yeah, but I don't think they didn't last year. So this is also the other thing. Last year they didn't. It didn't change. Like basically, like 10th still got 10th place points, which is really weird. And so I don't know how they do it. It can create more value or less value for the workout. But I think it's okay. I just wish there was like more points to be had, right? Legends always cuts. They've cut every competition. And so you just know that they're going to do it. It's not a guessing game. They cut all the time. So what's the difference between keeping the same scoring? There's a million ways that they can score it. But last year, the way that they scored it was like first still got first, but second still got second points, and it didn't change. 10th, if you got last, it got 10th place points, not last place points. It was kind of weird. Right, exactly. So last year it was silly. It was very silly. You won. What are you talking about? It was fucking amazing. Shut up. Don't be talking about it was silly. Don't be devaluing your win. So anyways.
You're reading Carolyn.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Keeping the scoring the same, right? Exactly. So if they change it to 15th gets 0, it increases the value, makes it worth a theoretical more points. I agree. Which then at that point, then it's a more valuable workout. And so in theory, it's like 2-parter, right? So you know. Um,
Are you saying that you like that better, Carolyn?
I don't know. I don't know with what. I mean, this is what has to
Making it
happen.
worth more points.
It has to happen. This has to happen. The fact of what they did last year can't happen. That's insane, right? Like that's the craziest thing. That's basically like when I was in high school. I got a good story. When I was in high school, I went to a very lower income high school. Okay, and so
I feel you.
and so we had a really bad test grade. Right, like basically they combined gang areas of two other high schools. They put them in one high school, and they're like, "Let's see how this works." And it was terrible, by the way. So, a policy my principal implemented was that no one can get lower than a 50 on anything. A 50, a 50. Okay,
Uh-huh.
which means that you could basically not take a test at all, get a
Uh-huh.
50 because that's the F. The F goes from 60 to 50, like a D goes from 70 to 60 or blah, blah, blah. Right. And, um, and so it was like you could skate by with C's or like you could get a couple zeros on papers and then do well on a couple and then you'd still get a C or a B, right? They just pushed everyone through, right?
Mhm.
And it makes a huge difference if last place, 15th place, gets half the 15th place points and not last place points, right? So, so I guess we don't want it to have more points. So it wouldn't be more basically, and it wouldn't change for first place. It would just be very detrimental for someone to finish fifth versus fifth with all the people there,
Sure.
right? So it really just hurts the middle events. Um, uh, yeah, 8 events is not that many events. I mean, it's kind of a lot of events. We shouldn't devalue. I mean, they had more last year, and everyone complained that it was a lot of intensity. Everyone was too sore. I'm not a fan of cuts for this reason. Programming matters. I think the timing of it matters too. Yeah. All right.
You want me to bring you back?
Yep. All right. Let's go. Last one. 28.
Oh yeah, let's go last one. I was going to bring you back somewhere else, but we still have the one that we're talking about.
Right. Right. All right. So last workout: 4 rounds, 2 rope climbs, 6 wall walks, 4 snatches.
And it's called the climbing ladder.
Mm-hmm. What was your guys? What was? I think a lot of people complain the intensity. So there's so much contraction volume in such a short amount of time. Like a lot of squat volume, like the squat sprints. Um, and I think like just there was like 10 scored events, right? I found a lot of people to be really, really sore, even though the total volume might have been relatively low. But anyways, all right, 4 rounds, 2 rope climbs, 6 wall walks, 4 snatches. Bob, again, I think some of his bias, he was like, I just want to see if I can program something my OCD doesn't interfere with. And I'm like, well, your OCD should fucking interfere with this because this looks like it makes me want to puke. But it is rope climbs. I think the rope climbs are probably pretty irrelevant. 2 is very little. Now the shoulders are going to be absolutely torched coming into this workout. Okay. And it's a long time cap. This is what happens when it's the only workout of the day, right? Definitely low. I think it ends up being a wall walk workout. I think someone who has good shoulder stamina ends up doing very well here by managing wall walks that need to be really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So in a vacuum, $40 head lighter for Isabel. Well, I don't know. Is that a problem? I mean, is so 40 head lighter than 35 for Isabel. And so for here, it's stupid. I don't know. I mean, it's inconsistent, but I think Masters adjustments for weights, it's always, like we said earlier, like it's always just a guessing game of like, what's the right thing? I don't think it's a snatch workout. I think it's a wall walk workout. Is it a snatch workout?
I think it depends on who you are as an athlete.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, in a vacuum, great. And then also the reality that this is at the end of the long weekend and their shoulders have already been asked to do a lot of things. So they're not exactly coming in fresh.
I think it's a wall walk workout for like all the age groups, like all of them. It's so many. 24 is a lot. Like that's going to take way longer than 16 snatches.
Yeah, you've got differing opinions.
Yeah.
Also, back to, sorry, but Lito said people are coming from all over the world and paying a lot of money. And dare I say the majority of us aren't sponsored athletes. Just let us play till the end. I don't disagree. I like the idea of everybody going all the way through.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
back to your wall walk /
I can be
snatch
changed. I can be
debate.
changed. I can be changed. Cut sucks.
Yeah, I'm not.
Take it out, Bob. Take it out.
But yeah, it's just one final little thing. Yeah, let everybody. I mean, let them play on the ropes.
Again, in a vacuum, I think this workout's good. I do think the shoulders are going to be fucked for this weekend. Like you need boulder shoulders to be really good. I don't think this is this. Okay, so if someone is really good at the snatches, no one's going to touch and go, so that's irrelevant. That person usually sucks at wall walks, and it's so linear in that aspect. If you're really strong in snatches, usually your wall walks are trash, right? Because your shoulder endurance stinks. And so I think this ends up being pretty balanced. I wish the rope climbs were more for the younger age groups. Like it should have been like it should have been 3, like for 35 to 49. Like it should have been 3 rope climbs. It's two is not enough for sure. Or it should have been legless. Right, like 2 legless, and I mean then it's a totally different workout. But it's weird that it's this literally the same rope climb through 59. I don't think so. The wall walks are going to eat them up, man. I think it is. Like I don't think so. I think wall walks are going to hurt some people that are strong, for sure.
Yeah, just snap. Wall walks, no problem for me. Sorry. Very slim chance of making it to this workout. Yeah. See, if you didn't have cuts,
Yeah,
everybody be playing the game.
right. Yeah, I think for most. So, Carolyn, yeah, 4-3, something, right? Like it was weird. So this is one of those that you look at and you're like, okay, he wrote it because you always write for 39, 35, 39. That's what he did. And then you scaled down for everyone else. Like you looked at this and you were like, 8 rope climbs, is that the test? Like is that there for 35? Like this one looks like he wrote it for like 50 and then like was like, oh, they can do the same number. I just don't know why it wouldn't be more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair point.
It's a weird one for sure because like not changing, you didn't change the number for anybody, which is very strange. But you changed the height, which is fine. I'm totally okay with. But males, the 69-year-old male is doing the same amount of rope climbs to the same distance as the 35-year-old male. Totally different workout. He shouldn't have admitted that he asked ChatGPT.
I think it's so funny because the moment that like if people had not known that he asked ChatGPT to name them and they just saw the names, would they have disdain for the names or would they be grateful for the names? You know,
be grateful,
right? But now that you know that Chat did it, now you're mad. Oh,
yeah. I don't know. I don't. It's not bad. I think it's a miss. This one is a miss. I think on the lower gymnastics end. I think the snatch is fine. I think the wall walks are challenging. I think the rope climbs are a miss. I don't know. This one's probably
yeah. So then the rope climbs are just not
they're
the
not up
crux
to
of this
snuff.
workout, if you will. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
And so then
or I mean, if it was 2 legless, 2 legless would be solid. 8 legless, like 2 legless, boom.
right.
Women and men, boom, done. 2 legless for 35 to 44, 1 legless, 1 regular for 45 to 54. And then like regular legs to 55, right?
Well, now you have me thinking about how much overall pulling through the course of the weekend versus pressing.
It's not a lot of pulling at all.
Right. I was going
Like
to say, I
literally,
don't even feel like I've seen much.
no, not at all. I mean, and so this is
Some
where,
pulling to the floor, but
yeah, but gymnastics pulling, you have muscle ups, which is the cornerstone. And so this is the problem that you see when people take, like, you take a main structure workout and you base everything else around it, is then you create biases. So it's like last year. And I said this like when Dave wrote it and when everyone hated the programming. Was he made Chad the cornerstone of the games in 2024, and that interfered with writing a very heavy games because of knee flexion concern. Okay. And so that's why the games was light, right? And also with the first event. So you ran 3.5 miles, right? Isn't that what it was? Yeah. And then you did Chad, and so knee flexion becomes a concern, and so overall load becomes a concern there as well. And so when you do that, and when you have programming that leans into something heavy like this, so like the, like this workout here, this is the cornerstone of the weekend, then we're going to bias away from other pulling parameters, right? And so it's like, oh, well, we did 30 muscle ups. 8 rope climbs is probably okay, right? And so now there's no other pulling. Now, granted, it was tested in the open. It was tested for 90 pull-ups in the online qualifier, right? The semifinals.
yeah, and those things do matter. Good call outs.
I disagree. Bar muscle ups are a pull. Bring muscle ups are still a pull, right? Now, fatigue sets in from pressing mechanics because I think press has a less. I think the only reason the press does is because the press, our kip mechanics for the dip are less efficient than the kip mechanics for a pull, right? It is still certainly a pull. We don't feel the like general effects, but like it's still a pull. Like, it's just like you're here and you go up, like it's a pull. I mean, there's like just your elbow bends, you get closer to your hand, it's a pull. But yeah. So all right. I think that's it for that. Okay. Wow, this went way longer than I anticipated.
Marketing legends page.
Oh yeah. So we want this age group CrossFit Games to be a standalone thing, which in and of itself is a shit idea. Should all be the same thing in the same place with all the people together. This whole move it around the world in an arena thing is stupid. It's gay. It's the worst. It's ineffective. People don't want to watch it. It feels like regionals, and it will always feel like regionals. And I'm going to take another dive back. Everyone complained that this year's games was vanilla and not memorable, not motivating. If you put, of the 10 workouts, if you put 8 of them outside, you would remember 6 of them as some of the coolest events you've ever watched. Because the only iconic events we've ever had are outside. Name one iconic event that was inside. You can't, because there isn't any. And it has nothing to do with the event and everything to do with the atmosphere. So, with that being said, this notion that the games needs to be movable across the world is silly. And it's going to shoot Dave in the foot. All right, now back to the Masters. Assuming we're not going to bring the Masters back together, which we should. Celebration of fitness, as Barbell Spin says. Close, but certainly not iconic.
I actually don't agree that it has to be outdoors to be iconic, but
then you bring me 4
okay.
workouts that aren't outdoors tomorrow morning that are iconic that were inside.
Okay. Yeah, and this is where you're gonna get me with like having to go back and find
you only have to
names of them.
you only have to go to 2017 because there were no inside events before then. So that's why the tennis stadium was great, because it was under the lights. Double DT is not that great of a workout. If double DT was in the Coliseum, it would have just been double DT.
I don't know. I don't have the same disdain for indoors, but that's not to say that I don't love outdoors. But
I don't have a disdain for indoors. I'm trying to prove my point that everyone that deems an iconic event and everything they name is on the soccer field.
Being an outdoors one.
Yeah. That's not iconic. He would have. The problem with this specifically is he had 30 more pounds in the tank. He was gonna win, and so it was cool because he won, and it was a cool event. But it certainly like he was gonna win no matter what. Like it wasn't even close. I didn't think it was a race. Anyways, all right, back to the marketing. We want this thing to be a standalone event, but there's no support from CrossFit. I think Jenna and the team need to give like 5%. Give them 5%. Talk about it during the games. They didn't talk about it at all during the games, right? Very minimal. They started to reshare posts, but they didn't start to reshare posts when they first started making the countdown. It took them a couple days to start to reshare. They didn't even tag CrossFit in them. And so it needs to have its own page, and CrossFit needs to give them a little bit of a marketing team because it's just Bob and Joe and that team.
Well, it'll be interesting to see once they actually get footage from this weekend too, what happens to make its way onto the other pages.
Right, what they're going to use. Because they didn't use anything last year.
Right.
Like
so now that
nothing.
it's just too early for us to know. I mean, I understand apparently the contractual obligations with different sponsors and whatever is going on there. But yeah, it'll be telling to see how much after they have footage from this event. I mean, of course, during the course of the weekend, how much do they share? But then also afterwards, how much do they promote it?
Yeah, I mean, with this new marketing push from CrossFit, like the Masters games should be all over fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
It should be everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because like they're the result. They're the result. They're the result. Like they're the result. Like the individual athletes aren't the result, right? Like me and you aren't the result, right? Like, and they're the result. You know what I mean? Like everyone over the age of 50 is the result of like this, and how you're completely different than, like the sum of your closest people, right? Unless you're just like all in CrossFit, right?
And I mean, you want to talk about iconic, if we take it back to NorCal, of course. I mean, I've had the opportunity to work a number of different events with Masters divisions and so on, but those Masters divisions were plentiful. There were so many athletes in all the different divisions. Anyway, like my favorite experiences there were watching the oldest divisions kick upside down and different things that like they did. I mean, I always, at every event, I'm just like, it's important to me to see what's possible.
Yeah. I think it's super. I think we're on the same page. It's interesting, like why CrossFit isn't like pushing it everywhere, right? Like to just like support I definitely would rather watch Masters than teams without a doubt. That's for sure. It's just an interesting one, right? Like I'd love to ask Jenna, like, hey, why is this like, why is Dave not talking about this in every weekend review? Like, I mean, I get it. They want it to be its own standalone thing, but
do you know if she'll be there this weekend?
Jenna? I don't know. I'd love to have her on the show.
I could look into it. I have no idea, but we could see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dude, I'd love to interview her. That'd be sick. Yeah, reach out to her. Have you messaged her on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be bad. That'd be stoked for that.
I like her. She's awesome.
She is awesome for sure. Dave is coming. There you go. Get Dave. Get Dave in the booth, Claire. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
What is the goal for the weekend of? Okay, now I understand. There's my assignment.
There it is. You get Dave in the booth. It was all worth it, for sure. Anyways, well, it's weird. It seems like a miss. It doesn't seem like it would cost a lot. Like just help them with their social media. Like.
Well, that would require there to be sufficient interest. Like I think that's where yet again we're in another. What is coming? What is next? What does this look like in the next season? There's so much that we just don't know. And so does the interest, once whatever sale takes place, like does the interest go back up? We can all certainly be hopeful. I mean, there are great points. Jamie says, the majority, the open and fully and fund indie. I mean, there's so much value. sure, monetarily, yes, but also like what you and I said, as far as the entertainment, like what we get out of watching the age groups go. I mean,
Yeah.
and throw down. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I
I mean,
go back through every event I've been a part of over the last 12 months and like call out specific like iconic moments for me. And they often involve masters athletes.
I love it. Yeah, that's
Oh
good
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna be up in like, I don't know, 9 hours. Am I in
Sure,
Central Time? Is it 10? I don't even know. What time is it?
Yeah, it's 10.
Okay.
Are you in this time zone still? I guess so.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm in Kentucky, but part of Kentucky's in the Eastern Time Zone and Central Time Zone, so I didn't know if I'd shifted
Made your
over
way
yet.
over yet.
Yeah. We'll do a morning show, not talking about programming. Claire said she has topics, so good.
Oh shoot. Okay. All right. I'll go back and look at them.
But cool. Well, hey, thanks for being here tonight.
Cool.
Thanks for helping me rattle off. That was good.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you
chat.
guys for being here.
Slater, save the world. Hopefully your groin is fine.
This will be fun. You know, so many of these athletes that are in the chat that are competing this weekend, you know everybody, don't you?
A little bit. Probably the older age groups more so. But every person, every athlete in the chat, I know. I don't know Carolyn personally though. Maybe after this weekend. Carolyn, swing by the WODprep booth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll be there. So we're just
Yep.
cheering you on and look forward to meeting you and cheering for you.
All right, guys. Have a good night, and we will see you guys in 9 hours. Peace.
Bye-bye.